Okay, so you've got stacks of articles, studies, you name it, all about rattan. Maybe you're prepping for a big presentation, or maybe you just can't get enough of this stuff. Either way, get ready, because this deep dive is going to seriously change how you look at those wicker chairs you know.
You think you know something, and then bam, suddenly there's this whole hidden world to explore. It's incredible.
For real. So rattan, what is it exactly? Picture this. You're in the middle of a tropical forest, Southeast Asia, maybe Africa, even parts of Australia, and you see these super long, crazy thin stems just winding their way up to the top of the trees. That's rattan, a climbing palm. And get this, over 400 different species.
That's what makes it so interesting though, right? The different species, I mean. Some are super strong, like they use them for furniture, even bridges. But then others are like flexible, perfect for weaving baskets and mats and all that. You ever heard of manila cane?
Manila cane. It rings a bell.
That's rattan, named after the Philippines, because they were a big trader back in the day.
Manila cane, that's cool. It's like straight out of an adventure novel or something. But okay, here's where our deep dive gets really interesting. Way before labs and clinical trials and all that, people in these tropical places, they were using rattan for way more than just furniture. We're talking treating coughs, even leprosy. Can you believe that?
Oh, totally. Traditional medicine has been using it for ages. Like in Sri Lanka, they use rattan roots for diabetes to manage blood sugar, you know? And in India, they use those same roots for insomnia, asthma, even chronic fever. Pretty wild, huh?
Okay, I know what you're thinking. That's cool and all, but like, is there any actual science behind this? And that's the big question, right? Well, get this. Researchers are actually looking into all these ancient remedies now, putting them to the test in labs. And guess what? It's looking pretty good for those traditional healers.
It's amazing, right? People figuring out all this stuff about plants, like way before we had all the technology and labs and things. And now we get to see if it actually like holds up.
Yes.
What are the scientists finding? Well, they're finding out that a lot of that old wisdom, it actually makes sense. Like one of the most interesting things they're looking at is how rattan could help with inflammation.
Right. For pain and swelling and all that.
Exactly. And studies are starting to show that it actually works. There was this one study, they used an extract from the rhizomes.
Rhizomes, like the roots?
Yeah, the underground stem, basically. And they found that it was just as good as regular medicine at bringing down swelling. Pretty cool, huh?
That's huge. Especially for people with arthritis. It's like, finally, some proof that what those traditional healers knew all along is true.
I know, right? And it goes beyond just inflammation, too. Remember how we were talking about how many different types of rattan there are? Well, a lot of them are packed with antioxidants.
Okay, antioxidants. I feel like I hear that word everywhere, but honestly, I'm not always sure what it actually means.
Yeah, it's definitely one of those, like, buzzwords, but basically they protect your cells from damage. So there are these things called free radicals.
Free radicals.
And they're like these unstable molecules that can mess things up in your body. And antioxidants, they're like the cleanup crew, you know, they come in and neutralize those bad boys.
So antioxidants are the good guys.
Exactly. And rattan's full of them, especially these compounds called flavonoids and phenolic acids. Hard to say, but good for you.
So they did studies on these flavonoids.
Oh, yeah. And they found that these specific antioxidants in rattan are really good at protecting cells from damage. And when you consider that cell damage is linked to like aging and all sorts of chronic diseases, that's a pretty big deal.
Okay, so we've got pain relief, cell protection. What else? Well, are they using it to cure the common cold too?
Well, not the common cold, but they're looking into how it might help manage diabetes and cholesterol. And the research is really interesting so far. They did these studies on rats with diabetes, and it actually helped lower their blood sugar and improve their cholesterol levels. Pretty amazing, right?
Wait, are you serious? From wicker furniture to like managing diabetes, this is wild.
It is wild. And of course, you know, they need to do more research, especially on humans, but it definitely looks like rattan could be a really helpful tool for managing those conditions. And it doesn't stop there. Researchers are also starting to look at its potential for treating some really serious diseases, like cancer.
Okay, now we're talking. This is some next level stuff. What have they found?
So this is all still pretty new research, so, you know, we have to be careful. But one study found that an extract from rattan root was really promising for fighting a type of cancer called Ehrlich's ascites carcinoma.
Hold on, Ehrlich's what now? Break that down for me.
Yeah, it's a mouthful. Ehrlich's ascites carcinoma, basically it's a type of cancer that grows in the abdominal cavity. It's often used in research because it grows quickly and it's relatively easy to study.
Okay, got it. So they use this cancer to test rattan.
Right. And they found that the rattan extract could actually slow down the growth of these cancer cells, which is a really positive sign.
So wait, are we saying that rattan could actually help fight cancer?
It's too early to say for sure, but the early research is super promising. Of course, scientists still need to figure out exactly how it works and if it's safe and effective for people, but it's definitely worth looking into. And the crazy thing is, that's not even all. The potential uses for this plant go way beyond just medicine.
Okay, you're killing me. What else is there?
Get this. They're now looking into using rattan for bone regeneration.
Bone regeneration. Hold up. How is that even possible? I mean, we went from baskets to diabetes, and now we're talking about regrowing bones. Rattan is like the Superman of plants.
I know, right? It's pretty incredible. And the secret is in its structure. Remember those long, strong stems that make it so great for furniture? Well, they actually have these tiny channels running through them.
So like little tunnels inside the plant?
Yep, exactly. And scientists have figured out how to use those tiny channels as a framework for growing new bone. They create this rattan-based structure, and then the body can actually use that as a base to rebuild bone tissue. It's like giving your body a blueprint for how to heal itself.
This is blowing my mind.
Oh.
Are you serious? So they're basically building little bone bridges out of rattan.
Well, it's pretty amazing, right? It just shows you the power of looking to nature for solutions. We call it biomimicry, using nature's designs to solve our problems.
This is insane. Pain relief, diabetes, maybe even cancer treatments. Now it can help regrow bones.
Someone get me rattan on the phone. I've got a business proposal.
I know. It's really something. It just shows you how incredible and versatile nature can be. We often overlook these traditional plants, but there's so much potential there. This is seriously blowing my mind. We've got this plant that can do practically everything. But then I have to ask, if it's really this amazing, how come everybody isn't talking about it? Like, why aren't we all drinking rattan smoothies and building houses out of it, you know?
Laughs. It's a good question. There are a few things to keep in mind, though. First off, a lot of this research we've been talking about is still pretty new. It's definitely promising, don't get me wrong, but we need more, especially those big trials with people, to really know how well it works and if it's safe.
So kind of like it's not ready for prime time yet.
Yeah, exactly. It takes time to get from a study to something doctors are actually using. And it's not just the science either. We've got to think about the planet too, right? Rattan is a natural resource after all.
That's true. We can't just go crazy harvesting it all without thinking about the consequences. Is it in trouble? Is rattan endangered or something?
It's definitely something to be aware of. It grows naturally in rainforest, right? And deforestation is a huge problem. So we've got to be careful not to love it to death. You know what I mean?
Oh, totally. So what can we do?
Well, a lot of people are working on that very question. One thing is sustainable harvesting. So instead of just chopping down entire forests, which is terrible, we can be more careful, take only the mature stems and let the forest grow back.
So kind of like trimming it back so it grows back healthier.
Exactly. And they're also looking into ways to actually grow it, like on farms or plantations. Wouldn't that be amazing to have sustainable rattan farms?
And those farms could help the environment too, right? Like if they were planted in areas that had been damaged or something?
Right. They could help restore damaged land A&D, provide jobs for people. It's like a win-win.
This is incredible. We're talking about a plant that could be good for our health, good for the environment, and good for the economy. It's like a solution to so many problems.
Exactly. And that's what's so cool about these deep dives. We started with just rattan. That's it. And look where we ended up. From furniture to ancient cures to cutting edge science to the future of the planet. It's crazy.
It's true. It's like peeling back the layers of an onion. Every time you think you know it all, there's something new to discover.
Yeah.
It makes you realize how much more there is out there, and not just about rattan, about everything.
Totally. And that's what I hope people take away from this, a sense of curiosity, I guess, a desire to keep learning and exploring.
I love that.
Wait.
Well said. So, to everyone listening, we leave you with this. What will you deep dive into next?